Let's face it, guys, retail's a chaotic world.
From those who work on the shop floor to the ropey customer trying to wangle a refund on a sweaty yet supposedly unworn pair of pants. We all have a story.
We chat to the sales assistants shackled to the cash desk, hoping and dreaming for that big break that will free them from the shop floor once and for all. And also to the incredible shop workers who love what they do but struggle to pay the rent or even dare to dream of getting on that elusive property ladder.
We're giving a platform to the shop owners who are transforming the retail landscape and the family businesses who continue to make retail work against all the odds.
Jasmine, are you ready for a deep dive into life on the shop floor?
Timothy, let's go.
Hi, Jasmine.
Hello, Timothy.
Welcome back to the shop floor.
The place where you find all your retail, entertainment, humorous stories.
It's the place that we belong, quite
scandals.
Frankly. Love a scandal. So following on from the last episode about the shocking pay in retail, I thought it would be good to discuss the perks because the pay...
Are there any?
Well, I'm about to tell you. So the pay is not great. So things like staff discount, staff allowance, commission, they're really important. You know, I think a lot of people that work in, particularly in fashion retail, they work in the industry because they love clothes, you know? So you would like try and find a job for a brand that you loved.
Yeah.
To get that staff discount. So what are your experiences of staff perks?
So I haven't had that many because when I was younger and I worked at Whittards, which we've spoken about.
I mean, nobody wants discount on that.
I was like, come on.
How old are you? 15?
Yeah, I was like, I'm not pumping money back into... They're barely giving me £1, so I'm not pumping it back into the company.
I mean, this is the thing, isn't it? And I feel that way. It's like, you're paying me £10 an hour, and then I really want this product, so I'm going to give you 200 quid of my salary at the end of the month.
Yeah.
It's like...
Don't think so.
Works for the retailer, not so
for
much
us.
for those on the shop floor.
But also, if you are not the lucky few that get the jobs in the places you actually like the clothes...
Then the perks are a waste of time.
Then you're like, sorry, what am I going to do with a kilo of hot chocolate? Absolutely nothing.
You could smother it. You know that paint, chocolate body paint?
No, thank you.
That could be one for you and Harry.
And so I didn't really get perks there. And then at Starbucks, there were some insane
A perk
perks.
would be a decent salary.
Yeah, that would be a great perk. Not often getting that.
No, we're not getting that.
A perk would be having holidays off that I'd like. Don't also get that.
You
That's
can't have
really
that.
rare.
No.
Don't ask for things. Don't ask for silly things like that, like your birthday off. Oh my gosh.
Forget it.
Forget that. So at Starbucks was really weird. We used to have these like coffee tastings. I'm not saying that's a perk because I hate coffee. And we used to have like these trials and we'd try each one. I'd be like, coffee. Next one. Yes, still coffee.
Yeah.
Next one.
You're not a connoisseur.
Still coffee. But I remember in this meeting that they then presented us with these packs of how we could go to university in America.
Wow.
So they actually, Starbucks would pay for you to go and do, they had like a choice, there were a list of specific courses. And what you would do is, I think there were like all these universities in the States you could go to, one in Arizona, I really remember. And then you would go there. And while you were studying, you would obviously work at Starbucks.
Yeah.
But you could do like nursing was an option.
Wow.
Or they had these opportunities.
Outside of the industry.
Yeah. So
Amazing.
actually, because I think the Starbucks CEO, I'm pretty sure, wanted... I'm not sure if he came from money. I don't know the story that well, but he definitely wanted to help people get out of their situations and give them opportunities.
I think that's the thing. There are businesses that are committed to their staff's progression. Like when I was at Cambridge last year, there would be a lot of people on courses, on masters or PhD, and I would speak to them and they're like, oh yeah, I'm being paid by my employer. So exactly, and they're paying for everything. I mean, that's unheard of in the retail sector.
Well, that's what I mean. So when I was at Starbucks and they said that, I thought, this is really rare.
Yeah, because the whole point to capitalism, and I think you really see that being acted out in retail, is they want to keep you down.
Yeah.
You have come on board accepting the shit salary, and they want to keep you there,
They want to keep you...
right where they want you.
They don't want progression. They don't think career progression. No, why would you bother with that?
It doesn't suit them.
No, exactly. And that's why I was so shocked about this Starbucks thing. But I think it makes sense because they wanted people who had come from the bottom to get to the top. They wanted managers. They wanted, people doing tastings from their own thing, which was really great. And that was the last time I ever saw a great perk.
I think at the basic level, the greatest perk in retail is a thank you. And so often you don't hear those words being uttered, like, thank you, worked really hard, thank you.
Yeah.
It's basic. I mean, that makes me and it's not like, I don't need a trip to Bermuda, you know? A thanks.
Who's offering you that?
Nobody.
No one.
A thanks would be good. But yeah, you often hear in recruitment, you know, oh, they've taken us all to Ibiza for a week, team building.
I know. Where's my team building? I have people I need a team build
I mean, we'll
with.
be lucky if we're taken out for a pint.
I think that's it. And as well, you see all these, you know, other members of staff in different sectors in the same company, right? The office people getting taken on, you know, big boozy lunches, trips away.
Yeah, I mean, anyone that works in retail, shout out to you. If you work in retail, we're all working for the same company. And yet, weirdly, those that work in head office often have entirely different perks to those working on the shop floor.
For example, a lot of employers in London, especially in retail, offer the Cycle to Work scheme, which was a new scheme.
Get on your bike.
Fabulous, yes.
Village
it's
bicycle.
Great if you love to ride a bike. Fabulous, you help fund your own bike out of your salary.
And it's
so you're
tax,
basically
it's tax deductible, so I don't think you're paying tax on the bike.
No, but you're still paying for it yourself. You know, no one's paying for the bike for you.
It's coming out of your monthly salary.
This is the trick. They take it out your monthly salary, so you don't even notice it was gone. That's what they like to say. I'm sorry.
You are going to notice it's gone when you're on £10 an hour.
When you're in the final week of that month and you're going, I can't get my groceries today.
And then you're selling the bike from the Back to Work scheme on Gumtree.
And that's the thing is that they, you know, how fabulous all these jobs go. We got these schemes. So it takes me an hour to already get to work on the tube. Why would I want to spend 2 hours cycling?
On busy London roads.
Main London.
No.
Jean, who thought
I
that?
mean, and the
up?
people that I've worked with, it's an hour and a half journey. So
Yeah.
what? You want your staff to get on their bike and cycle?
3
of
hours.
What benefit to whom?
You should be waking up at 5 a.m. Get your helmet on. And then, you know what? They'd have the audacity, loads of employers. You'd get there sweaty. You look a state. You can't possibly
And
be
there are
seen
no
here.
showers.
No.
So what? You're just a hot, sweaty mess.
That's an infection waiting to happen.
I mean, that's me on the shop floor after a heavy night.
So that's one of the perks.
I read this, sorry to interrupt you. I watched this thing on YouTube about this guy who'd got a new job. And I think he was supporting his mum. It's in America. And he didn't have a car. The job was like 8 miles away. And one of his employers saw him the first week walking to and from work for 8 miles.
Oh my gosh.
And when the employer realised, and because he really needed the job, when the employer realised, they bought him a car. Not a back to work, not a cycle to work scheme.
A car that would genuinely help.
That's
true perks. And that's just understanding who you're employing. I'm obsessed with this guy on the internet who does those things where he'll start talking to someone and go, oh, do you like basketball? And they go, yeah. And he just like hands them $1,000 in cash and gives them free basketball tickets.
It's a bit like Oprah. You get a car. You get a car.
I love that.
I just want a day off.
Because honestly, this is one thing that drives me nuts. This is an episode is why really rich celebrities, etc., get gifted everything for free when they're the ones that can actually afford it.
We see that every day in retail.
We see it. When you work in retail, you're
gifting.
Oh, gifting this someone a free. And you're like, surely they can buy that.
And then when you want something, hi, could I get discount on that? No, sorry, it's a bestseller.
Yeah, you can't have that actually. You can only have the thing that's discontinued and no one wants to buy.
Fully. I mean, I would see that all the time, places I've worked, where you were given a kind of specific edit of stuff that you could buy, which is basically the product that nobody wants. So the bestsellers, obviously, it's a no. But then you would see celebrities or, you know, people from PR head office doing gifting. They can have whatever they want.
Yeah.
And I think all that says to people that work on the shop floor is you're not important.
Yeah. You don't deserve to have the best stuff. You get the leftovers.
You can have the dregs.
Yeah.
That nobody wants even at 70% off.
And they think we would want it. But even just for the free stuff and even the discounts are rubbish. Like staff discounts at places. Oh my gosh.
20%,
20%. It's like, I could just sign up to the email and get that on the website.
Yeah, just with a code.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm doing
Don't need to
constantly
work there.
Googling Nike discount code, you know, trying about 50 of them.
Have you got 50 emails just to try and utilize your every discount code possible?
Fully. I'm like,
I would do that.
If I was in America, I'd be one of those coupon moms, you know?
Oh, yeah, I love them.
Like my whole shop was $3.
No, I've seen it where the couponers are so good that the company owes them money and they're like, oh, we actually owe you $5 for this.
I mean, the thing is, working in retail, actually, we know we're not getting huge parks, but parks are important. So let me think, where have I been? Shout out to Jigsaw. Okay. When I was working there, yes, it was 20 years ago. I think it's an entirely different business now. But at the time, it was still owned by the founders. And the parks were really nice. You know, every Easter, we had like an amazing Easter egg. Everybody in the company, from Rococo. At Christmas, everybody got a Christmas hamper. Everyone. You know, it doesn't matter if you worked in the stockroom, you were part-time. Everybody got the same thing. They had a cottage in Somerset that you could just put your dates down and go and stay in. It's called the Jigsaw Cottage.
What?
Go and stay there. If you had, I think it was like a £350 sale, you got £15 in your wage. If you had a £1,000 sale, I think you got £30. You got a great clothing allowance. Like, it was genuine parks, and you felt valued. I think that's what it comes down to. It's not necessarily, it doesn't need to be all singing, all dancing, but you felt valued.
I mean, I wouldn't want to see you singing or dancing.
Wow. Well, I think people did see me singing and dancing at the staff Christmas parties.
Definitely.
Which, in retail, the annual Christmas party is everything. Because it's an opportunity to let your hair down with your fellow shop floor staff and like have fun. And I think even now, you know, from speaking to people, even that now has been cancelled. The staff Christmas party has been cancelled.
Yeah.
And this has nothing to do with Me Too, by the way. It's just that now retailers don't feel A, the importance, and B, it doesn't suit their budget, you know?
I do think, though, that things like the Christmas parties, social events, like you say, getting the Easter eggs, being able to go on a trip together, I think that, though, solidifies the working relationships. And if you don't have that, people are just like, you know what, I don't care about who I'm necessarily with, I don't know anything about them. If you're not a very open person, and you don't share like fun parties,
it's
fun
a team
moments,
building exercise.
Yeah,
it's an icebreaker.
You've broken us some ice, I'm sure, at those parties.
Many.
So like, tell me, so when you were at Jigsaw, were those Christmas parties with every Jigsaw store, or was it just
every store and everyone from head office and all the directors? I remember one year, the Christmas party, it was the Groucho Club, private members club in Soho. And they paid for everybody in the company to travel down to London. I was living in West Yorkshire at the time. Put up in a hotel and just get to the Groucho Club for 8 p.m. Food, free drinks. I remember doing karaoke with my area manager. And it was just amazing, you know. It was fancy dress. Obviously, I went as Michael Jackson, an homage to. I looked like a total wreck.
Yeah, I'm sure
that wasn't. That was
probably not a look.
You know, no one was believing it, to be honest. And put up in a hotel, you know, but everyone was wasted to the point that I was leaving. And they have a reception, you know, as they do at most private members clubs. I was convinced I was staying there. Groucho Club's never had a hotel room. I was like, I've got a room here. I'm staying here.
My room is on the 3rd floor. Please let me in.
They were like, no, you're at the Jigsaw Christmas party. You're not staying here.
Did you get dragged out of that?
No, but then I'm pretty sure I got into an unmarked taxi. Don't do that, guys. The giveaway, there was this baby seat in the back and drove me back to my hotel. And then the next morning, everyone that worked in my shop was all traveling back up to Leeds on the train, and I was still in bed. I didn't hear them knocking on the door.
And you just didn't get back?
Yeah, so I eventually had to then buy my own train ticket and got back to Leeds like in the evening.
You're a nightmare.
But I think I just made the day of it. I was like, well, I'm in London now.
What a treat. Let's just go out.
Might as well extend the trip.
That's amazing. I've not really had work parties like that. I mean, places I've worked, I remember they'd be like, they would have a dinner, or
A dinner's nice.
it is really nice. And I actually think though that the thing is as these companies don't have the money, the first thing to go is things like that. Because to them,
But
it's
a lot
an
of companies
extravagance.
don't have the money, but a lot do.
And don't want to spend
Yeah, in
it.
another place I worked, there was a petty cash budget, which was assigned to the manager. If you had an amazing Saturday, smash the target, there was a budget there. Not huge. I think it was like maybe a couple of £100 a month. Take the team out for drinks. Take them out for a bite to eat.
Yeah.
It's enough. Often it's enough just to feel appreciated. Like, you did an amazing job. You worked so hard today. Let me take you all out for a drink.
And it'll be fun, and you'll have a laugh, and you can let your hair down.
Yeah.
I would honestly love a job where you don't have to go in and you just get to go to the drinks after.
Yeah. What? What kind of job is that?
Exactly. Not one that exists yet. But what's the craziest story you think you've had from one of your work parties? Because people always us sleeping with their managers, us having affairs.
No, I've never slept with anyone that I've worked with. Rule number 1, don't shit. What is it? Don't shit on your own doorstep.
Don't shit where you eat.
Don't shit where you eat. Same when I was at uni. People sleeping with people at my college. I'm like, you're an idiot. You're gonna have to face them in the dining hall.
I never did that either, actually.
Lie.
No, I genuinely, I never did that because I just thought it's just going to be awkward at some stage.
So we had Harvey Nick's Christmas party. Harvey Nichols was also great with the parks.
Surely they would have big ones.
They would have at the end of the sale, so it probably at that point got to 70% off. They would have a day, staff day, where it was 20%, an additional 20% off sale. I remember getting like a huge Balenciaga holder for 100 quid. Really great parks. And the discount was for everybody. So it didn't matter if you worked for a concession or you worked for Harvey Nichols. Everybody got the staff discount. I think it was 50%. The only snag at one point, and I think that they changed it, was you had to put it on the Harvey Nichols store card. So not only are you on shit money, you're racking up debt on a store card with insane interest rates.
That you don't want to be doing.
Yeah, like Selfridges, you only got the staff discount if you work for Selfridges. So you're working in the concession, making Selfridges money, but no discount. But I remember the Harvey Nick's Christmas party. It was at this club off Oxford Street, and it was wild. And you're kind of pissed and you're interacting with people that you never ordinarily would.
Yeah.
Like the security team.
Oh, yeah.
They kept themselves to themselves. And my friend, who will remain nameless, it was at the time of, I don't think you'll remember this, but Big Brother.
Yeah, I know what Big Brother is.
I know you know, but there was one season where it was a girl called Kinga, and she inserted a wine bottle in a unspeakable orifice.
Hole.
And my friend decided to reenact that moment on the dance floor.
No way.
I didn't think the penetration didn't happen, but it was a homage to Kinga. So she put the wine bottle on the dance floor and was like lowering herself. The security team were horrified.
They were like, I'm leaving this job. They were like, we don't need to keep people out of Harvey Nick's. We need to get the people that are in out.
So that was pretty wild. But I mean, yeah, stories I've heard about staff sleeping with staff.
I always feel for anyone that's like, slept with someone they work with, or even worse, a manager.
Imagine.
It must be so awkward.
Isn't that an abuse of power? I think so.
I would be like, can I claim compensation?
Yeah.
I would be blackmailing the hell.
Yeah, even though you initiated it, you'd be straight to HR.
Yeah, I'd be like, well, if where's my, what's that like pay where people get
compensation?
No, the one that's like hush money. I'd be like, where's my hush money?
Hush money, yeah.
From the manager, where's my hush money?
Yeah, I've had that before. I raised a complaint about a manager, and they didn't want to accept, responsibility.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's just no way I can work here anymore. So they paid me 3 months' salary, but then I had to sign a waiver that I would not pursue them at any point in the future. Yeah. I think that goes on a lot, actually. Still to this day, I've heard about people in retail having to sign kind of waivers that they won't pursue any further.
Oh, any legal.
But back to Perks. I mean, where else was good? Christian Louboutin was great. Incredible.
Really?
Incredible.
What would they do? Bring in a pot of paint and say, we'll paint the bottom red?
Can you paint these soles for us?
You've got these plimp soles from when you were 4 years old, but we'll make them Louboutin. Paint them.
Yeah. I mean, that's how he discovered it. He, one day, for whatever reason, he painted one of the soles of his prototype shoes with some red nail varnish, and it became a thing.
I hope it's him. I thought he started making shoes for lizards.
Really?
There is a famous shoe designer, I'm pretty sure it's him, who started making tiny shoes for lizards.
Well, when he was a kid.
Yeah.
And I think Jean-Paul Gaultier was saying, I think he had a teddy bear and he was making like bondage gear for his teddy bear when he was like super young.
Little did he know it would go from the teddy bear to on you.
Love a bit of bondage. No, that's a joke. But yeah, we got 6 free pairs of shoes a season. I mean, bearing in mind the average price is what, 600 quid? That's a lot of money. That's what, £3,600 worth of shoes per season.
I've never seen you in a pair.
I sold them all the moment that I left. And which raises an important point. You know, when you're getting things like allowance, and in the small print of your contract, you must not sell this product
for any commercial
the moment you leave. It's all going on eBay. And what else? I mean, in my first week, they took me to Paris to meet Christian at his atelier.
No way. I don't believe a word of it.
At his atelier.
No, they didn't.
In Paris. Yeah, I did. I went.
But you were a nobody.
I know. I was just a manager, a menager. But yeah, I went to Paris. I went a couple of times and did the range review. So we would review the range for the season.
Yeah.
I think there's an episode in there about, head office listening to retail staff about what product might sell. So, I mean, that was an incredible park, and obviously everything paid for. Really, really nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Hunter was another place that had great parks. So, like, I think thousands of pounds worth of allowance every season. And they just launched their ready-to-wear collection. So clothing, everything.
I love their boots. Obviously, they're welly boots. But
they just went into administration again.
No.
Yeah, and they've just been bought out again. They really struggle.
Oh, bless them. I feel like they should have taken... Bless them. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Sure on.
But I love their boots. And they should have taken you to Glastonbury. I'm speaking about this because Glastonbury's happening now. But surely as part of that, because I feel like that's where I'd see those boots.
I mean, that was the resurgence, the Kate moment, they called it, or the Kate effect, when she was photographed in the early noughties at Glastonbury in a pair of Hunter. And it kind of reinvigorated the brand. But we had, away days that a lot of companies have. We had a away day that was head office and retail. It was like one of those awful kind of treasure hunts, like running around London, like go into a charity shop and find a Mills and Boon book, or, that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
But they closed the store. They closed the retail store and were like, it's for everybody.
That's not heard of.
Yeah, it's really unusual. And obviously everyone was absolutely wasted. But it was
running around London trying to find things.
Yeah, like a treasure hunt vibe.
Yeah.
But I mean, then you felt valued. And I think often that, the parks that people at head office get don't translate to those on the shop floor.
No.
But we know that they're getting them. And that's the crazy thing, is that the people that work at head office, or the people at the top, clearly don't care.
No.
Yeah.
We're very much two different entities especially in a lot of places. It's like, you guys are still the ones that haven't been able to make it. You haven't been able to find your job that you want to do. You haven't so you're there. They very much look at it. Yes. And we've had this before, and we've spoken about this, we've had a lot of people that we've worked with in various different places. I know that come in and they'll go, I've done retail. I've been here before. I'm not going to be here for long, because they think that it's below everything. Below them. And they think that's not their career.
But they're quite happy to tell the people on the shop floor that.
Yeah, and they're telling people who, that's their main source of income or the job that they're so grateful that they've been able to get to pay.
Or that they just love working in retail.
Exactly. And it helps them, live their life and pay their rent and actually afford. And you have these people that come in thinking it's some sort of disposable job. Oh, yes. No. This is not just to be clear, this is not where I stand. This is not my standard of.
Yeah. Or you do have those people that are just, if a company does offer good parks, that's the only reason they're there.
Oh, yeah.
Like often you see that in department stores, like just work a Sunday, 5 hours, but I get 50% off. So it's win-win for me.
Yeah.
You know?
And they think, and also the great thing if you work at a department store or any company that's.
There's going to be something that you want.
Exactly. Or somewhere that owns a bunch of different stores.
Yeah.
Then you can shop across a few. Like I always think that with makeup brands, like if you work for somewhere like Space NK or some of those brands, so lucky because you've got access to all these things you actually probably want.
Or Kering or LVMH, you can buy across all the brands, But, I mean, it's going to leave you broke. I remember working somewhere and one of the guys was like massively into fashion. He was eating beans on toast every single day. He was like, oh yeah, I just bought this jacket, so that's me. And it's like you were saying, you're paying back into the company.
Yeah, it is soul destroying. You do think like this is just going straight back into their pockets.
Another great part was Harvey Nichols would write off some product. So it had makeup on it. There was an issue, like the seam had come undone. So it's written off. So I think that's a tax benefit to the company. They're not, so they would sell it to the staff. And the stuff was like dirt cheap, dirt, like 20, Dior top, 20 quid. Yeah.
Have it. It's falling apart.
Yeah.
And you're at home with your needle and thread going, I can salvage this.
Yeah. Hand stitching it straight on eBay.
I did see a funny thing. on eBay, Reddit. And someone had posted, they were obviously a coin collector, and they'd posted a coin. There are those people.
There are.
And they'd found a rare coin in the change that someone had given them. And they posted a photo on Reddit and put, this is a real perk of retail, perhaps the only perk. That they'd found this coin that they obviously needed.
I hope they made like 10 grand on it.
So do I. I just thought that's the truth.
I mean, that's another thing about gifts. So forget the retailers. There's no perks in the retailer, but often, I think this is more in luxury stores where the customers will want to gift the sales staff product. So then there would be strict rules on how much you could receive. The value of the gift shouldn't be over £100.
Yeah.
I know at Hermes, I know people that have worked there and that they're trying to, what's the word I'm looking for? They're gifting the sales staff
to bribes.
They're bribes. I'd heard that someone had received a gift of a box of chocolates. The sales staff, the customer clearly was trying to bribe them. They opened the box of chocolates. There was £5,000 in cash in the box because they wanted a Birkin.
Just to be clear, I would accept that bribe.
Just
for
to be
anyone
clear,
listening.
I would quietly close the box and take it home and go home for the day.
I would take it home and then I would magically find a Birkin from a market and then gift it to you.
But yeah, I mean, all those gifts have to be logged. So it's like,
really?
Yeah. So often it would be no more than £100. And then you would see your manager in the Maldives, in Mystique. I'm like, how are they affording this? Oh yeah, they're allowed to accept perks, the real perks,
That's the gift. They've
holidays.
made friend with the client who was.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I've never been bribed.
Haven't you? Often it's
I think they know they're not getting anywhere with me because they feel I have no position of power anywhere I've worked. Yeah, so they're like.
I think itself just the rule with no cash gifts, but often you would be handed a £50 note. I mean, come on, I'm not saying no to that. So I would just pocket the £50.
And what would it be for? Just so you could get them a...
No, it would just be for great service.
Yes.
Or, I mean, obviously you feel like this is lower than the low. That it's like, here's 50 quid, But at the time, you're like, yeah, I'll take it. Or you took their bags to the car,
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel like pretty...
If I got 50 quid every time I did that, I'd be running out to the car park 24/7.
Yeah, but isn't it crazy that no, you can't, you're not allowed the perks either.
Don't accept any gifts. Don't accept any money. We would rather you suffered.
In silence.
Absolutely. I mean, that's dreadful. I mean, what would be your dream retail perk? Like, what do you think works really well and you think should be implemented in all retail places?
Oh my God, that's impossible.
No, it's not. I love the jigsaw house that you got to stay in. I think
Yeah.
that's fab.
That's really nice.
Give your staff somewhere to have a break,
Yeah.
rent free.
Yeah.
They only have to pay for transport. They can go with their mates.
You know, holiday vouchers, you know,
Yeah.
things that are actually you want. You know, that would be nice.
Because I feel like some of these huge companies as well could cut a deal with an airline.
Mm.
Sleazy Jet
Sleazy
could
Jet.
cut a deal with somewhere huge like Selfridges and be
Yeah.
like, we will offer all Selfridges staff this discount.
And where would you go? Mykonos? Ayia Napa?
Ibiza.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, I want to do the Ibiza.
Never been to Ibiza?
No.
Oh my God.
I know, it's bad.
I've been too many
Next.
times.